How to make the phone ring. This is a class for leaders, realtors, and loan officers. This class I really enjoy because so many people have trouble with getting new leads and new business. And it's like, oh, I just want my phone to ring. And what technology tool and what new advertising thing can I add? People are going to call me. And then I also hear people say, well, there's so many robocalls. I'm not sure I want to answer my phone. So I want you to make the phone ring with calls that you're excited to get. And this is actually a relatively short class. And actually, this can be done as a lunch and learn. This can be done with your office. So feel free to share this or at least share this concept with your leaders, with your team, whatever makes sense, because it's actually really fun. All right. So, how do you make the phone ring? Well, I was in corporate sales for 15 years before I got into real estate, and it's all about lead generation and all about, frankly, cold calling, which most realtors and loan officers do not do. There's at least some familiarity when you're calling people in your database or people that you've met at networking events and things like that. We were straight cold calling. And the way to make the phone ring, ready, is to dial it out first. So we've got to take our phones and we've got to punch in numbers and we've got to call people, and then people will call us back. I know that's a little sarcastic. And this is what we do when I do this in an environment that we make it really fun. We really talk about this is what needs to be said. This is the who, what, why, and when of how to make the phone ring. This is what I do, a role play and then a real play. So we do a little bit of role play in a classroom environment or in an office or whatever. And do some role play. What are the objections that we expect to be hearing? What's the great responses to some of those things? And then what are you going to say? So we know who we need to call. What are we going to say? Then why do we make these calls? And when is the best time to call? So we'll go through all of these. And then typically you can do this in an hour. You do about 20 minutes of role playing, going over like who needs to be called and then what to say and all of that. And then spend about 20 or 30 minutes actually making live calls. And then everybody gets back together and talk about their results. And it's a lot of fun, actually, because everybody creates this excitement and we have a little contest of who can make the most dials and who gets the most appointments and who gets the most referrals. And it's fun. So you can make it fun. And it's way more fun to make your calls together than it is to be making it by yourself. Like, I know I got to make my calls and making it happen. So the first step is who? Who do we call? It's actually really simple. Hot leads, warm leads, cold leads, then your current partners, and the names in your phone. It's just that simple. Hot leads, somebody that you've met in the last 24 or 48 hours who said they're interested in buying or selling real estate or refinancing. Or in a leader's case, somebody who've talked to you about maybe joining your office. These are hot leads, somebody who is ready to meet with you, ready to go, ready to have a conversation. They're going to make a decision probably within the next 30 to 45 days. Those are hot leads. Warm leads are people that are still in the gathering phase and figuring it out. And maybe they're going to do something in the next 6 months. Those are your next people. They're still great to schedule appointments with those people, even acknowledging, hey, I know you're not looking to do anything for 6 months. I just thought it was time for us to get back together and just share with you some updated information, learn what you have done in your process so far, and how we just keep the conversation going and make sure that you're supporting them and their goals in the same way. And then cold leads. These are people that you met at an open house. These are people that came through as online leads that maybe you called once and you never called them back. It's a great opportunity to make multiple calls to those open house leads, online leads, people that you've got your business card stacked on your desk and you keep meaning to call them. Call them. It's certainly not going to hurt. At this point, you don't have any relationship with them, so it's really okay to call them because you're not offending anybody. You can even start off with an apology, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the last two people to call is your current partners, referral sources. Is it somebody who's a teacher or president of the PTA or a CPA or, oh my goodness, of a pastor of a church? There are so many different people that have referred you business over and over and over again, calling those people and maybe just doing a thank you call. Thank you so much for all the support you've given to me this year or over the years or what have you. Just want to check in and see how you're doing. What do you got going on this time of year? Whatever time of year it is, whatever plans they may have. And then the last and most simple thing to do is just start with the A's in the name of in your phone. I have people come to my class all the time called How to Make the Phone Ring. And they're like, I don't have any leads, or I didn't bring them with me. I said, okay, start with the A's in your phone and just start calling. And I'm like, really? I'm like, really? It's that simple. Be every time you're at a stoplight, look at your phone or just figure out the next person in the name of your phone. Maybe even the people that have called you last, call them back and have a conversation about real estate, mortgage, or leadership. It's a really great opportunity to connect. So now you know who you need to call and in this order. And if you're going to take about an hour to make calls, you're probably going to need 10 to 15 names to call because people will answer the phone, people will have conversations with you, and you're going to leave messages that are unique to each person. So you can actually have, I usually set schedule around 15 to 20 names, assuming that I'll get through the list fast. Maybe I'm leaving a lot of voicemails that day. And sometimes I only get to 7 or 8 calls because everybody picks up their phone. You never know. And so have the opportunity to have your list ready to go. So you're not like, oh, I made my 5 calls, I'm good. No, you have a whole list of people, including the names on your phone, starting even alphabetically. Start with the Z's, doesn't matter. Now, what are you going to say? Well, depending on the time of the year, you can say happy fill in the blank. It could be happy summer, happy spring, happy Labor Day, happy Thanksgiving, happy Easter, happy New Year. Doesn't matter to me. What it is talk about whatever is happening in the world at this moment. Happy fill in the blank. And hey, you're going to just touch base. How is it going? Just checking in with you. And you will get the response of, how's the market? A lot of people, when they're making their lead generation calls, spend a couple minutes checking in personally, which I think is really valuable. And then also saying, hey, I just wanted to give you a market update. Do you have a couple minutes for a market update? And let them know what the opportunities are for this market. Whatever market you're in, there is an opportunity. There are opportunities in every market. You just need to know what the opportunities are for which people. And is it first-time home buyers? Is it sellers that have been in their house for a long time? What's happening in the market where there's an opportunity for people to take advantage of for themselves or somebody that's important to them, and share it. And then say, hey, we haven't talked about what's going on with you. How do you like your home that you are now? What are you thinking about doing? Should we schedule a time for me to come over to the house and give you an updated value of your home based on what you've done and upgraded to the house or your neighborhood, or just I'd love to come by and see you. Those are all great opportunities to have an appointment. Or you can even schedule an appointment to practice your presentation. If you are calling people for your database and you're a realtor, you can just say, hey, I'd like to come and practice my listing presentation and would love to get your feedback. People are so willing to give you feedback. It's awesome. Loan officers, if you are calling your past clients, do an annual mortgage review. Hey, I'm just going to do an annual mortgage review, give you a heads up on what's happening, what the opportunities are in this market. If you're a leader and you're calling prospective recruits, it's like, hey, I just want to come and have coffee with you and learn about what you're doing in this market. One of my favorite conversations I would have with people, like, oh, you're trying to recruit me? I say, no, I don't really know what's going on in your business right now. So I don't even know if we'd be a fit. We're definitely not a fit for everybody. Just like the opportunity to get to know you better. And maybe you can share something with me that maybe I haven't thought about that I could share with some of the newer agents here in my office. Just get to know people, deepen relationships. This is a relationship business. Deepen those relationships. You can also do the apology script, particularly people in your database you haven't talked to in a while. Just apologize. Hey, I am so sorry that I have not been able to commit to calling you on a regular basis. I'm going to recommit. My apologies for not saying that, not doing what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to reach out and I haven't. It's been a while. I've heard people say, hey, I'm your phantom realtor. I'm back. So you can make it fun and playful. And most people are just glad to hear from you and appreciate that you are making the call, even if it's been a while. And here's the thing. If there are names in your database that you haven't talked to in years and you're embarrassed to call them, give it a shot. The relationship doesn't get worse because at this point you don't have a relationship. So if you want to rekindle that relationship, then make the call. And if you don't, then take them out of your phone or take them out of your database. Either way, you're going to move forward in your database and really working with the people that work with you the best. And then when? Okay, this is the thing I get a lot. When's the best time to call? The best time to call is when you do it. If you get together as a group a couple of times a week and make calls as a group, that's the best time. If you have a lot of energy in the morning, then do it in the morning. And if you got to leave a lot of messages, awesome. People will call you back. And you could even leave a message like, hey, I want to give you an update on the market. Give me a call back. And people will. You could say, hey, I need your help with something. If you are looking to identify specific clients, say, hey, I need your help in identifying these kinds of clients because of the opportunities for them in this market. How long do you call? Now, I believe in blocking off 90 minutes for lead generation. The 60 minutes is for the actual active voice to voice lead generation for on the phone, where you're just going to go through your names. You're going to maybe make a little note or type it into your CRM. And then whatever follow-up items you needed to do, if you want to do a handwritten note for everybody you spoke to, if there was an email that needed to be followed up with based on one of the conversations, that's when you do it the last 30 minutes. Whatever follow-up items need to be done, you do it at that time. A lot of people will make 3 calls. Somebody asks them to send an email and they start doing the email and they start doing the other follow-up. And it gets you off the cadence of making the calls. Make calls for an hour, heads down, do your thing. Maybe just pick a piece of paper and a note of things you need to do in that 30 minutes after you make those calls to make sure that you're getting those things done as follow-up, and then keeping track of it in your contact management system. And then have some goals. I used to do a lot of things of like, hey, if I'm going to make 10 calls, I want to get 2 appointments. Some people want to make 10 calls and get 1 appointment. Set goals for yourself. How many dials are you going to make, or how many appointments are you going to set? And then when you've hit that goal, perfect. You can keep going for however much longer you have left. Or, hey, I didn't hit my goal yet. I'm going to push a little further and do my follow-up later in the day or what have you and move that time. How do you do that? You time block it. You just time block it. 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week for lead generation. 90 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Put it on your calendar based on your schedule, what you've got going on with your personal commitments, what you traditionally like to do. Some people are morning call people. I'm one of those people. Some people are afternoon call people. Some people are late afternoon people. Like, hey, it's the last thing I do before I get out the door. And I get a rush of energy and I'm excited to have those conversations with people. And make it fun. Particularly if you're doing it with other people, make a little game out of it. Who's going to get the most appointments? How much fun is that going to be? The loser takes the winner out for coffee or lunch or whatever. Have some fun with it and take a deep breath. These people like you. These people at least have met you. There's no reason that they're going to do anything to be mean to you. And one of the things I remind people when we do this class is that your job is just to offer an opportunity to get updated around the market. That's it. Sometimes people will take you up on that opportunity. Sometimes they won't. And that's okay. And it's just like when you're a little kid, when you're 8 years old and you go on the playground and your favorite thing to do is hopscotch. All right. Hey, do you like to play hopscotch? Do you like to play hopscotch? Do you like to play hopscotch? And some people will and some people won't. And that's okay. The only difference between a hot lead and a cold lead is time. Your job is just to stay in touch with them and when they're ready, because it is our job to remind people that we're in real estate. It is not their job to remember. The number of stories I hear of friends, family members that used another realtor or another loan officer or went to a different company because their own deep connection wasn't talking to them about what's happening in the market, what opportunities are out there, letting them know, reminding them of how they work and how their business is successful is because of referrals and support from friends and family and past clients. So take a deep breath. Remember, this is about them, not about you. And if they're open to a conversation, great. And if they're not, that's okay too. It's about what's going on in their world right now, not about them rejecting us. It's more that the timing's not right. And that happens all the time. There's also opportunity with some technology tools. There are actually technology tools out there that will make the phone ring. Some people have newsletters and they get calls off of their newsletters. Sometimes title companies have some really cool technology tools. Whether your own company has some technology tools that provide opportunities for you to call them. Sales Boomerang is one of those companies that is now in partnership with Mortgage Coach. Realtors, if you're not familiar with Sales Boomerang, go talk to a loan officer who might be. And then those of you in leadership, particularly if you're looking to recruit, Doing some sort of events is a great way to make the phone ring. Host broker agnostic events, and those are a fun way to actually get people into relationship with you to determine if they're fit for your office or they're not. One of the tools that I've been doing some work with is a company called Percy, and they actually do some interesting things nationwide that makes the phone ring. They provide a service to your past clients. It is designed for realtors, though loan officers have an access to an opportunity with it as well. And then, really, how you make the phone ring is by dialing it out first. It's a great opportunity for you to just call your past clients, call those leads you've been, remiss at making the follow-up calls, and just have some fun. And the idea is that the more you are feeding your database, the more you make the phone ring, the more that you shake that money tree a little bit every day, or is more likely that you're going to achieve your goals and have fun doing it. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to hearing your results. Make it a great day.